selection from
8 minutes we got left before we chat. Grab your coffee, find your seat. Cowbells are ringing, that's our cue. Gonna share our thoughts with you. Laughing gossip, spit in tea. Little secrets between you and me. Countdown ticking, let's get real. Heart to heart, it's how we feel. Girl talks in 8 minutes time. Ring that bell, let's feel the rhyme. Share our dreams and tell our fears. Girl talks, wiping all those tears. Snap a pic of what we wear. Brush our hair, let down our care. Conversations never lie in this moment with you and I. Clock is ticking, here we go. Words like rivers start to flow. Tune your ears and hear the beat. Girl talks makes our time so sweet. Girl talks in 8 minutes time. Ring that bell, let's feel the rhyme. Share our dreams and tell our fears. Girl talks, wiping all our tears. Clock is ticking, here we go. Words like rivers start to flow. Tune your ears and hear the beat. Girl talks makes our time so sweet. Girl talks in 8 minutes time. Ring that bell, let's feel the rhyme. Share our dreams and tell our fears. Girl talks, wiping all our tears.
Morning, y'all. It's 5 minutes and 30 seconds before Girl Talk starts, so you have just enough time to grab yourself a cup of coffee and get in a comfy seat. We'll see you soon.
Catch Girl Talks every day. Follow socials, here's the way.
GURLTAUX, every platform come to play. Catch our vibe, don't delay.
Facebook, YouTube streams. Scrolling through your daily memes. Girl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talks is all about. Keeping it real, it's what we do. So tune in now and join our crew. Life's moving through the screen. Click subscribe, don't be mean. Upbeat chatter, it's our routine. Girl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talks is all about. GURLTAUX is who we are. Come hang with us on your tablet, phone, or screen. Anywhere Girl Talks can be seen. Girl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talks is all about. Update stories, laugh and cry. It's Girl Talks, so don't question why. It's the show that you'll adore. Come back daily to get some more. Girl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talks is all about. GURLTAUX is who we are. Come hang with us on your tablet, phone, or screen. Anywhere Girl Talks can be seen. Girl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talks is all about. GURLTAUX, log in now, watch our show. Likes and comments, let them flow. every day we're on our way. Girl Talk Show is here to stay. Girl Talk Show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what Girl Talks is all about.
Walking down this road tonight, talking about the things we fight. Addiction knocking at my door. A&T wants so much more. We walk the walk and talk the talk, right here on Girl Talk, on the path where we belong. Standing strong through the storm, together we'll move along. Searching for a brighter day, holding tight along the way. Sobriety's a steep climb, D&T winning every time. Oh yeah, we walk the walk and talk the talk, right here on Girl Talk, on the path where we belong. Standing strong through the storm, D&T bringing all of you along. Oh yeah, we walk the walk and talk the talk, right here on Girl Talk, on the path where we belong. Standing strong through the storm, D&T bringing all of you along. Whoa, yeah. We walk the walk, they talk the talk, right here on Girl Talk, on the path where we belong. Standing strong through the storm, D&T bringing all of you along. Whoa, yeah. We walk the walk and talk the talk, right here on Girl Talk, on the path where we belong. Standing strong through the storm, D&T bringing all of you along.
It'll be a good little thank you gift, for
Yeah.
keeping cash. We ended up she didn't have to keep cash, but what was I going to do with this game myself?
Like, you're not going to play murderer.
Yeah, so I ran it by her house yesterday.
Hey,
Their
good
house-
morning.
Oh, we on?
We're on.
Oh, I'm still running my mouth.
That's okay.
Good morning.
Okay, we have a special guest coming on our show today. So right there in the corner, next to Greta, right next to Greta.
Cash
And
will come greet you.
there are some ears hanging there for you. I put fresh ears in it. So
Oh, I'm impressed.
if you look at the way that the loop goes, it should go towards the back of the ear. So whichever one goes towards the back of the ear, that's the correct ear. And if you need help, I can come over there
Or I
and
can
help you.
her too. So, I usually don't mind bother me, so I don't wear them. But so you've got the hook that hooks over. It goes in your ear, and then that hooks over your ear. So that's
Like
the
this.
direction. There you go. There you go.
I even hear you in there.
You
I
do.
hear me in there too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
If I don't like what I'm saying, can I just pull it out? Or
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
But keep talking.
yeah, the world's still gonna hear it, but
Well, how are you this morning, Greta?
I'm good.
Good. Now you can sit wherever you want comfortably in that corner, And then the microphone, the only problem with the microphone that sucks about it is you kind of have to eat the mic when we're talking.
Yeah.
So you got to have that mic. And cameras are this direction. So
Yeah, so just look towards Tori.
Oh my God.
somewhere look.
I know. I know
But
it's
we
a
don't
lot.
care where you look.
Yeah.
We don't care
No,
because
you
we're
can look
having
at-
a conversation
if
with
I'm
each
talking,
other.
you can look at me.
And if I'm
I
talking
would
with
prefer to look at you over. We're the two G's.
Okay.
Two G's
Yep,
with one
'cause
T.
Okay, gotcha.
This is Ginger.
Ginger, okay.
Ginger is my mother-in-law.
Nice to meet you, Ginger.
And
Very nice to meet you.
as I learned from one of my clients that bought one of my Marine Corps crucible lanterns for her son, their whole family developed a way of talking about their in-laws because she did not like in-law. She thought in-law was a very negative connotation, and sometimes it can come across the in-laws, you know. So they rephrase it now. They call it my mother in love
yeah, I've heard that.
and
Yeah.
my daughter in love because they're with my family member because they love them. So it's
Yeah.
mother in love. And I refer to you all the time ever since I learned that mother in love, unless it's somebody that wouldn't necessarily know what I'm talking
you're
about,
talking about.
or what I mean. So,
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Does she
mother-in-law.
talk a lot?
yeah.
Does she talk? Yes.
No, not at all. Not at all. So anyway, good morning. I'm Tori. I'm the host of Girl Talks, and we are here on the 23rd of December. It's one day and a wake up for Christmas, and you don't. So that's a military thing. One day and a wake up, and we get to be done.
Okay.
One day and a wake up. I'm out of here. That kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So we don't count technically the day you're already in because you're in that day. So then you have one more day and then a wake up and it's there.
Okay.
So it's one day and a wake up, but for us, we're mostly done because the family that we had coming, my son and his family left yesterday.
I didn't realize they were coming and leaving that quickly.
Yeah, because he's a Marine.
Yeah.
So on the 26th, he has to report to Bridgeport for cold weather training.
Okay.
In Bridgeport, California. So they're in North Carolina. So getting back there with kids and all that stuff, yada yada.
Yeah.
And then my brother and his wife and kids are here. Also, similar situation. My nephew's a Marine, and he has to be back there, and he doesn't have any extra leave. So they're actually leaving on Christmas Day. They're
Okay.
flying back on Christmas Day. So, but my mother-in-law will be here until the day after Christmas. So
and you're moving.
she's done.
I'm
moved.
moving. I moved. I'm now in Florida.
Okay.
Like I sent my family a Merry Christmas this morning and basically said to them, hi, my furniture's here and an awful lot of boxes.
Yes.
But I decided to come up here and spend Christmas with Steve and Tori and Tori's mom and Tori's family, most of which I'd already met, and just forget about moving for a few days.
There you go.
And then I will drive
you'll go-
myself home
Okay.
and hit those boxes.
Jump
but I'm
into
going to
it.
set a limit. I
Okay.
do 5 boxes a day, and when those 5 are done, whether they're easy or hard,
Okay.
I will go take a walk or go drive my new golf cart.
Oh, you got your new golf cart. You have to have a golf cart in Florida.
That was like the first thing they did. They had a day that they had to wait before the signing. So instead of like sitting around a hotel room or whatever, they went out and they went golf cart shopping.
Okay.
And they found her a very cute little golf
I was
cart.
fixing to say, is it a fun one or is it just a basic one?
Oh, well, it's a 4-seater. And I said,
Okay.
the reason I got that was because I'm my own person now. But if I run into a couple, if I don't have 4 seats, the man's going to have to do a lot of walking.
Yes.
Right.
And some men won't do
Makes
that.
you look more friendly on a
Well,
four-seater.
and you moved into not the villages, just to
No.
clarify.
Yes.
But senior community, 55 plus, and this community doesn't have any dogs at all.
They allow. You can
mean,
have
if-
fish.
I mean,
Okay.
I
But
mean,
that's the pet
I'm sure
limit.
there's,
No dogs, no cats.
I'm sure that if you needed,
a service dog. They
A
can't.
service
They
dog.
can't.
That would be
not
different.
allow.
Right.
they're not dogs.
Right.
They're people.
Right.
Right. And I'm sure that there is probably fine print that if you have a guest, they can, and they have a dog, they can bring it for a very temporary.
I don't know,
time
but I
frame.
will check that out because
Yeah.
that's just the way they are. But
Okay.
it seems to be a marvelous bunch of people,
Okay,
and everyone
okay.
I've met so far is great.
Yeah.
Good.
And I kind of made a hit when I arrived there because my son is now the best moving company. If anyone wants to move coast to coast, contact Steve Albee here in Alabama and ask him to bring his ambulance and trailer.
It's the Ambo moving team.
The Ambo moving.
The
team.
Ambo moving team.
Okay. Yes.
Air ride seats.
I've seen the Ambo. Yes.
And if you're riding for 1,000 miles, those air ride
Seats
seats
are
make
wonderful.
it possible.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. It makes it where when you get there, you're not like good riddance to you truck. Because I've
I
ridden in the
dated a farmer
U-Hauls.
and went with him on a lot of trips of like hauling grain. Not that far, much shorter trips, but he would haul grain to sell it, and I would ride with him. And one of his trucks had air ride seats, and one did not.
I would only go on the air ride seat.
Yes, I
days.
learned very quickly. Yes, there was a huge difference, and I learned the difference. And I'm like, "What truck are you taking?" Yeah.
Yes, I'll go along.
Yes.
Gee, I have an appointment. I
Yes.
just can't go.
Sorry, can't go today. Can't
Yeah,
go.
yeah, exactly.
Or tonight, because he did a lot of overnight.
Okay.
Yeah, he would do a lot.
So back to introductions. I'm Tori. I'm the host of the show, and I'm a mom of 3 boys, and I have 4 step bonus children, and a gaggle of grandchildren.
They make a lot of noise.
Yes, they do. But they're fun. And Army veteran and former first responder as well. And my education is in creative writing and that kind of thing. So anyway, that is me in a nutshell. I have an amazing husband. Y'all know that if you've seen him pop on, but nothing would happen without my amazing husband. So, and we're gonna skip past you for once, and we'll
Okay.
go to you. Normally we go across,
Well, no, usually we go this way.
and lately we've been going that way. So we're gonna go to you first.
Okay. Hi, I'm actually Virginia, but if there's not a person that should be named that, it's me. I'm Ginger.
No, she is definitely not,
Not
a
a
Virginia.
Virginia.
No.
There is nothing fancy about me. I'm a down to earth. You take me the way you see me. I mean, I found out maybe an hour ago that I was going to do this today. I actually thought I was going to go get my oil changed in my car. So this is where I am. I am a widow.
I will tell you, go to Rogersville because there's a good-looking man that does oil changes in Rogersville.
Is he available?
I think. Well, he's not married, but he may be in a relationship. But he's pretty. He is pretty.
Well, it's okay to look at.
I know. You can look.
As long
Tell him if you go. It's the tire place right there at the corner in Rogersville. And just tell him Greta sent you.
Okay, I will just. Greta sent me, and I'm supposed to look you over. Are you available? And I'm not above asking a man that.
His name is Jason. He's a nice
Yes.
guy. Yes. He advertised this morning that they were doing like he had some kind of thing on Facebook that they were doing oil changes.
I have 2 grown sons. I have 6 grandchildren. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 great grandchildren. A few daughter-in-laws. We won't mention. That's my traveling buddy. Actually, that's my wine drinking buddy.
That's your
is what
wine drinking
She's
buddy?
not my daughter-in-law. She's my wine friend.
There you go.
Exactly.
And her marvelous husband, who was raised well.
Yes. Yes.
Take no credit for it, but was raised well. Gifted us with a cruise.
Oh.
We're going cruising together. The two rules I'm going to set that she doesn't even know yet is we don't get up at the same time and we don't go to bed at the same time because she's up half the night, not me.
Now,
Except if I'm having fun.
I had a friend that just passed away, and me and her did a cruise together, and that's kind of the way we were. Like we put no pressure on each other. You know, if you want to stay in the bed all day, that's fine. You can do that. You know, like we just, you know, we did. We enjoyed that trip so much, and she was a smoker, so she liked to sit in the casino because she could smoke there.
Right.
So, like, there was like no pressure of us even doing the same things. You know, like
We'll meet for dinner.
But yes, we met for dinner. We did in Montego Bay in Jamaica. We did get off the boat that day, and we did that day together, and had a blast. And so I have lots of good memories of her
Yeah.
from that cruise, and some beautiful pictures. You got to have your pictures made together.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not joined at the hip.
Yes.
She's a little taller than I am.
yeah.
Charlene and I were the same size. We're the same size shoes. Everything.
Well,
So-
and it's fun if you have things that you want to do together. Good, go do them and have fun, but don't not feeling obligated that you have to entertain the other person.
10
Yes.
o'clock and
You know.
we must do this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then at
I don't want to have an
11:15
agenda.
I went the first night to the piano bar, and I talked about how much fun it was. So a couple of nights later, she was like, "I want to go do that with you." Well, okay, I'm going again. Come on.
Yeah.
But
Well, and
I didn't never one time say you need to come with me.
Well, I mean, I have seen people when my mom and I went on our cruise to Alaska. I did see this family.
He's gonna
and
check you out.
It was a mom and dad and very obviously married daughter and husband and younger brother and girlfriend. And I would see, and they weren't catching the clues. They weren't catching on, but they would all, and I ran into them at least 6 times during the cruise. And they would stand in this little alcove by the elevators, and she had her agenda paper. And she's like, "So you guys have free time from now?" And they had just gotten done eating or something. "You guys have free time from now until this time, and then at this time we have this, and then we have this." And you see the son and daughter-in-law doing the roll in the eyes, and the younger brother, probably first real girlfriend, and the girlfriend is looking at him like, seriously, and the husband just, you can see this
He's
has
used to
this
it,
has
yeah.
been his life, so he just sits there
He's
and
a little bossy.
he just takes it, and that was just the way it is.
Yeah.
And I was like, does that make it really as enjoyable?
If that's what
No.
he's used to, it may.
I mean,
but-
and he may have been fine with that too, but
Yeah.
the you could see the irritation on the other ones. Like, can't we just say, okay, we're gonna go do our thing, and then we'll meet for dinner, and all of us could meet for
that
dinner. or
cruise,
something.
actually, there was about 30 of us on that cruise that all went together. And that's what we did. We met up for dinner every night. Like all of us, our tables were all near each other. We met up for dinner. But other than that, we might not see each other all day long. But we had the best time. Yeah.
Well, when people hear what my name is, oh, Gilligan's Island. And then I say to
Oh,
them,
yeah, you're going on a cruise with Ginger.
I am. Hey, as long as we have enough clothes, we're good.
Yeah,
It's longer
but
than
they
a
do
3-hour
have
cruise.
shopping.
they do.
And it's longer than a 2-hour or what was it?
3-hour
3-hour
cruise.
cruise?
Yeah.
3-hour cruise.
Yeah.
When my parents had a place in Anna Maria Island, Florida, a little bit south of where you were, a little south of Tampa.
Okay.
And the name of their boat down there was the SS Minnow.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, definitely.
Well, I have watched a debunking of Gilligan's Island. I don't remember what it was, but they went over all the details that where they left from. If it was a 3-hour cruise, there would have been land everywhere around them. They would have never been stuck
it wasn't
anywhere.
the best writing,
No,
probably, but we loved that show.
It was a great show,
Yeah.
but it probably explains why there were so many visitors to that island
Yeah.
that they never got rescued because they were all like, "Why aren't you guys?"
And why
just,
did
you
Ginger
know?"
have all the clothes?
Yeah.
You know, like
Well, because
3-hour
that
tour.
was Ginger.
I know, it was 3-hour tour. Like,
Like you were going on a tour, not a cruise.
yeah.
And actually, I cruised the one time with the Marianne
Okay.
from the cruise.
Oh, did you?
Dawn Wells, yes. In fact, Dawn Wells went snorkeling with my husband.
Oh,
The two of them
awesome.
had a very good time.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
funny.
Water,
That's cute.
as far as I'm concerned, is meant to be laid on or looked at, not submerged in.
Oh, see, I'm a mermaid. I love some water. What? My dog is.
I
is
quit
my-
scratching.
He wants to have a talk in the show too. He's like,
I am. I love being in the water, underwater. Love it.
I've nearly drowned 5
Now
times.
there is a cool place. It is north of Tampa, so it wouldn't be too far from you. Called Weeki Wachee, Florida. It's where the mermaids live. Do a little day trip down there. It's so much fun. They have in the 50s, I think, they created a theater in a spring. So you sit on this side of a screen. They dive down in the spring
And they perform.
And they perform. Yes, live women in their mermaid costumes. It's amazing. Like it really is a cool thing. We went up from Bradenton one time and went. It's worth going.
oh, that would be fun to go to.
yeah.
One of the times we come to visit you, I want to
We'll
go
have to
do
do
that.
that.
Go down to Weeki Wachee, and then like it's a park from the 50s, so they've got that. They have you can walk around the park. They have actually a huge water park. There wasn't any. It was I think it's open mainly during the summer. There was one lady randomly floating out in the spring at the water park, just one. I was like, maybe she's just an old mermaid that gets to come every day. I don't really know. But then there's a glass bottom boat tour that you can go do. And
that's
they
fun.
tell you all about the spring and the waters there, and possibly you see manatees, different things. Depends on what time of year. And then I think there was some other kind of animal show, and then they have this really cool bust that you can sit behind, a kind of a stand-in thing, and have your picture made, and it makes you look like a mermaid.
Oh, that's cute.
oh,
I
neat.
I was very disappointed in their little store that sold things. They have absolutely nothing that is not PG rated. I was like, I need like a dirty mermaid. Actually, I have a bumper sticker that says, "Don't you wish your girlfriend could mermaid like me?"
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it's on my cooler, but that's it. Like that was the most. Like they had no mermaids with wine glasses, no nothing. But it's cool. But I was very disappointed in the gift shop.
You gotta have something for the adult beverage drinker,
mermaids, yes.
the adult mermaids, the ones that have a little more mer experience, if you
No, sir.
if you will.
I learned about it. I'm a huge parrot head, Jimmy Buffett, and he actually talked before the performance, kind of introduced them, but he had went and recorded them, and it played behind him during concerts.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute. That's
Yeah.
really cute.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that then.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought that was something where he, hired all of that out.
He went and filmed it at Weeki Wachee.
Because I have seen that.
Uh-huh, yeah.
But I just thought, like any other musician out there, when they're doing their videos or whatever, they hire a cast and crew to do a video for them. And that's
No,
where,
he went and spent
Okay.
a day at Weeki Wachee and filmed that.
That's cool.
To play behind him.
That makes it
And-
even better.
yeah, but definitely when y'all are down, go down to Weeki Wachee. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so continue on with our introduction.
Introduction, yes, I am Greta. I am the Southern girl, born and raised in the South, never left. I've vacationed, but never lived anywhere else. So single and ready to flamingo. I'm the dog mom. That is Cash. We keep getting on to. He's kind of being a handful today.
He's looking for Alicia is what
He is. He's missing Alicia.
But he's our little mascot, huh?
He's decided my scratches just.
Oh no, he'll be back
leashes.
for him. He'll be back. Definitely.
He's like, Alicia should be coming down this hall any moment
Where is
now.
she?
Yeah, he does. And she had a doctor's appointment today. I think.
Yeah.
I think it was a follow up to her. But I mean, that's pretty much me. Never married, never left the South.
Yeah.
I'm the resident local single girl. So
Well, and we love her dearly and her cash man. And Alicia,
this is his favorite spot. though.
Yep, that is his. Once he settles
Yes,
down, that's
I've
where he
seen
goes.
him up there behind
Yeah.
you before. At first, I thought it was a pillow of some kind, and I'm like,
No,
Yeah. Well,
okay, that's a weird
no,
pillow
that
to
is-
lay there.
That is my cash man.
well, the one time when Greta was gone and we put the bear up there so that we had a camera at something, it was so funny because we didn't move Bear, and he climbed up there and he was sitting behind her. Just you could
he wanted
see
that
his-
bear gone.
He was like,
That's his spot.
he was glaring
How
at that
dare
bear.
You,
Yeah.
He's like, "Who do you
Cash,
think
I
you
wouldn't
are?"
do that to you.
It was so cute.
Are we froze up?
I don't think so.
Okay, it's moving now.
Sometimes I watch mine too because I keep it in front of me, and every now and then I'll see it and I'm like, are we paused? And I push the and my phone paused it or something.
Gotcha. Kimberly says good morning. I see.
Yes, good morning. I was
Kimberly.
just going to get to that. Good,
Yeah.
thank you.
That's why I like mine. I like to see if there's any
Well,
comments. so.
that's why we have our phones in front of us because if comments come on,
That
then
way
we
can see our comments of anybody who comments to
talk
us.
to the people out there because people do like to be acknowledged, and
Yes.
even if they don't, we like to acknowledge them. So, good morning, Kimberly. How is it going? I know you're working nonstop between now and the holidays because everyone wants their. She's a groomer. She's been
Okay.
a
She's
been a
an animal
groomer for
groomer.
like 30 years or something, forever. And great groomer. I mean, some of the cuts that she's done on some of the dogs that she does is pretty good, pretty phenomenal. So, of course, she's like, this is her busiest season. I never thought that was the busiest season for pet grooming, but she's like, yes, everybody wants their dog groomed for Christmas.
See, and I just keep him on a schedule. Like we're
Yeah.
just on a.
Yeah,
in the
like
summer,
your hair.
In the summer,
Your
we're on
hair-
a 6
yeah.
week. Oh, see, I'm better about his than I am mine. But summer we're on a 6 week schedule, and then we switch to an 8 week schedule. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I keep him shorter in the summer because I am out by the pool and outside more.
That's how it was with Bogart when we had Bogart. Now I trimmed Bogart. He's a Shih Tzu, right?
He's a Shih Poo. He's a Shih Tzu and a
Shih Poo.
poodle. A Shih
Okay.
Tzu and a poodle mix. Yeah.
Okay, I knew it was
Shih
something like
Poo?
that. A Shih Poo.
A Shih Poo. He is a Shih Tzu and a poodle mix.
And he's just as calm as can be right now.
Most of the time, he is very calm.
Well, and Bogart was a Cocker Spaniel. So I would trim Bogart all the way down on his body and legs, but I left his feathers on his feet and his hair and his feathers on his face a little bit. But the way his hair just happened to work out, his hair on his head and his face was always just slightly longer in his eyes, and it was very straight. Like I used to call him one of the I used to call him John Lennon
Okay.
because of the way his hair was. He was like he was one of the Beatles.
The Beatles hair.
And
Gotcha.
we all used to tease that he smokes weed because he looked like a weed dog. Like he looked like he was like, hey man, like you got any hash or
funny.
something. He just looked like he smoked weed all the time. He was so funny. But so when we went to have his hair done, every single time the groomers would be like, do you want to cut? I'm like, you got to keep the weed hair.
You gotta keep it.
the weed hair just slightly at his eyes, and because they want to put it up in a cute little. I'm like, no,
No.
he's our weed dog. He has to
Gotta have the hair.
gotta have the hair, man, because he's. So Kimberly says she's knee deep in dog hair. Oh, this is her 40th holiday doing dog.
Doing dogs.
But who's counting?
Yeah,
He gets groomed again first of the year is when he's due. This is like when his hair's like this is probably when it's my favorite. But then we go into a complete. You can't see his eyes. Like
Yeah, he gets all
Yeah.
discombobulated.
yeah.
I think he hears the people upstairs.
He does, and it confuses
it's
him
like,
because
wait a minute, there's
because
not
he's not
supposed to be
he's not
anybody
used
there.
to hearing.
They
yeah.
should get your little butt down
steps.
here.
Right,
Yeah.
because there's generally when we're on air, Steve's at work, the dogs are in their kennel, so there's really no noise, and the only noise you hear is when one of our cast members is arriving and coming down the stairs.
Yeah.
So as soon as he hears
He's
more
ready.
movement, he's like, "Where is my girl at?"
Yeah.
And now he's over in her spot
in her spot with his bone
with his bone.
that he wants her to play chase with. Like, yeah.
Yeah, he likes to give that to Alicia and say, "Here, take this and toss it."
Yeah.
So, question for today's show is, I said one day in a wake up, but we're already done. Okay, let me reword this. Like when I was growing up as a kid, like Christmas was Christmas. Christmas Day was Christmas. Christmas Eve was Christmas Eve. And our traditions were Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And now with people getting older, people changing, people moving, kids' schedules, everyone has different schedules nowadays. And do we have to follow that calendar timeline? You know, can you celebrate Christmas? And is it still the same when you celebrate it on a different day or
It
you
is,
celebrate it
because
early?
I had my family, my big family, the Mitchell family Christmas this weekend. And we probably started doing that the Saturday before Christmas. I don't know, 20 years ago or more. Like, but that became our tradition because the family had gotten so big, whatever. But
And everybody has their own
when
little
when I was
families.
little, it was Christmas Eve. And my parents divorced when I was young. So Daddy would get me, early Christmas Eve. I would go to my grandparents with him. He would bring me home, and my Santa had always came early. Santa dropped by my house a little extra early. But
You were the early schedule
I
because he had a
was.
lot of places.
he had
to
a
go.
lot, and
Yes.
that way my dad got to see me with my Santa as well as my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that
That's
always,
nice.
that always worked out really well. That they got to do that. And then like I said, we changed it. It's probably been longer than that when I think back. It's probably been 30 years. But we changed that one to the Saturday night before,
Right.
as like my dad's brothers and sisters started having kids and grandkids.
Well, now for you, things can be a little bit different because your whole family is
My whole family
all out
is here, yes.
Like you don't have a whole bunch of people that have to travel
No.
to be with each other for the holidays.
Almost all so the Mitchells that I had Saturday night. A couple of them live in
Now
Nashville.
that's your dad's side?
Yeah. A couple of them live in Nashville. Laura and them did live in Fairhope, but they moved home. They were home last year, so they've been home a while back to North Alabama for a while. I think Nashville is the furthest.
The furthest they
we
have to travel.
anybody.
And that's like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
So,
And a couple of my
or 2
Second-
hours if you're further into
second
Nashville.
cousins, they live in Nashville.
Okay.
But everybody else still lives in and around Limestone County.
Okay. But they all have their families and they have their, people start making their own traditions and their own things to do. And our family, between the Albee side and the Colvin side, we're all over the place.
Yeah.
I have a son that's in North Carolina. We have a daughter that's in Maine. We have a daughter and son that are in Texas. We have a son that is in Wisconsin. We have a son that is in California. We have another son that's in California. My brother is in California. Beneficially, it would be more beneficial for everyone if we traveled to California because there seems to be a lot more in California than out here. And then, and then my nephew is in California. My niece is in California. So, and they're at that age that they're old enough to start having families and start doing their own thing. They're not yet.
Yeah.
They're not ready for that yet, but they're getting closer, I'm sure. But everybody has their things. Everybody has their traditions. And our son that was here, that was able to travel during the holidays and come, he is a Marine, so he's leaving, and he has duty he has to travel for and start right after the day after Christmas. So of course he didn't want to go home on Christmas and have to like get his gear ready, and
Right.
he would spend Christmas Day getting stuff together when he could get they'll be home today. They left last night, so they'll be home today. And they drove halfway so they could stay in a hotel. Traveling with 3 kids, you don't want to do 11 hours straight in a car. So they did halfway and then stay in a hotel, and they'll do the other half this morning. And then they can get home and they can do
have
their
their
own
Christmas
little
at home
Christmas at
and-
home. And he can get his gear ready and be ready to go on Thursday. So
I've always been very thankful that mine has all been close by. Now I do have a stepbrother that lives in New Jersey. He doesn't come every year, but he does come. Every when he can, he'll travel in. His dad, my stepdad that's deceased. It's his dad, but we still, mother and I, Christmas Eve when we open our presents and we open from Bill, we will FaceTime him.
oh, that's sweet.
And we do Christmas with him through FaceTime.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
And then my mother's boyfriend now, he has a daughter that lives in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
But Alicia comes down quite a few times a year, and she always comes home for Christmas and
That's
and
neat.
stays at her dad's. So
Yeah, that's nice.
that she's the grandmother to the baby that I was showing you
Oh,
making
yeah,
cookies with the other
Very,
night. So
very cute. That's a poster picture. I tell you what.
I looked up. We had a lot missing from our Mitchell Christmas. A lot of sickness, actually. A lot of people sick that didn't get to make it to Mitchell Christmas. And I make this huge bowl of macaroni and cheese that.
And she
Usually
didn't
is all
even bring
gone.
me. And she didn't even bring me.
Oh,
any.
I've got some more at home. Some that didn't fit in the bowl that I made that I can bring you. But anyway, because we had so many out, I had quite a bit left that I wouldn't normally. So I called my mother's boyfriend's daughter and said, "Hey, I got a bunch of macaroni left. Do you want it? Because she loves my macaroni too." So I dropped it by her house, and they've got a new grandbaby this year. She's been
That's
born.
neat.
She was born probably February, maybe May. But they were doing cookies with her. They were decorating cookies with her, not even a year old. And it was so sweet. And they just set her in the high chair and
Of course, she's
painted
got to
the-
be part of
yes,
it. Yes,
painted the icing on there and just let her stick her. We joked that she signed every one of them.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they would lay it in front of her and pretty much we would put the toppings on it and Maeve would stick her finger in it. It was like, and there's her signature.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's the fun part is when you can have the fun things to do with the
Yeah.
kids, and as you get older, like I still love to decorate. I didn't go quite as planned this year, but it took me until like people started arriving, and then Steve and his mom weren't back yet, but they were on their way and they were going to be back. And then Steve says, "Well, tomorrow I got to do this, this, and this." And I said, "No." I said, "We're done." I said, "Well, how it's decorated is how it's staying."
done.
And I'm done stressing about it. It's causing me anxiety. It's causing me to be upset. It's causing me stress, and that's not good for my health. And I am not going to spend Christmas working.
Yeah.
Like family is here. We're going to put all the totes away. I'm like, my Christmas that's out, regardless of the stuff that didn't get put out, is more Christmas than most people have.
Right.
So
Yes, her
Yeah.
one room upstairs looks like Santa dumped.
yeah.
Tori's been to my house. I've got quite a bit.
Yeah, she does have quite a bit of Christmas in her house. And, my village, I have decided that my village is in honor of those in North Carolina and Georgia
Okay.
that got hit by a hurricane. So it's just in honor of them. It's a disaster. And they've got no lights and no water.
It doesn't have the sprinkle and stuff that it normally would because this year they don't.
That's good. I
So
like that. Yeah.
that's what I decided. This year, my theme is in honor of those that may not be back in
Yeah.
their homes, and some still without power, and some without water.
that.
And just make the best of what it is. So there we go. We've honored those people there by doing a village that looks like probably where they are right now. But it's one of those things. I got a late start. Too many things interfered with the progress. So it
And
is
you've
what it
struggled
is.
this year.
And
You-
I've struggled.
Lost your best friend. It's been hard.
That has been the hardest part of it.
Yeah.
Like getting in that spirit. And that adds to the timing thing. Like, is it okay to do things on different days? But are you also able to get into the spirit when you have something pressing on you? Like a loss like that. And I know I had a hard time when my dad passed away, but he passed away in April.
Right.
So for some reason, I feel like almost if they pass away after the holidays are over, you have that time to grieve before the next holiday comes around. But when even though it was August, it was only the 12th of December on my dad's birthday that we got the final report back. So that added to it, and it was like brought it right back up. And I have not spent a Christmas without her in 50 years. So it was really hard. Now, it doesn't mean we were together every Christmas. There was Christmases we were together, but we never didn't have a call on the phone. We never didn't talk. So that made it very difficult. And I couldn't get out of my own head to enjoy the process.
I was thankful I didn't have a lot more gifts I had to buy this year because one of my best friends, like equivalent of her, Kristen, that I've known since the day I was born. She was a few years older than me. She came down sick after Thanksgiving, and she just passed away. We just buried her Wednesday.
Wow.
So I was thankful I didn't have a lot more that I had to buy this year because I don't know how I would have done it because I
weren't
couldn't
in that
emotionally.
state of mind. You asked about Christmas before. I am one of 8 children. My mother was one of 6 children, and my mother came from a farm family, rural countryside. So Christmas was always Christmas at home with our mob, and then Christmas night we all went to Grandma's. And when you put together our 8 plus my one aunt had either 7 or 8, another one had 5. So we had a mob at Grandma's house. That was Christmas night. And we did it for years because we were all there intertwined with each other. The cousins, we all went to school together, so we knew each other.
Is that when the tradition started to make an ornament or make a gift for
Yes.
everybody?
Yes.
Because it's too expensive, obviously, to have that many family members. Because that's the one tree my second tree that I didn't get up.
Yeah.
The tree is up, but I didn't decorate it. But we have the Albee Christmas tree, and we've now combined it. It's the Albee Colvin Christmas tree because we have every single one of Steve's ornaments, and some of them are not Steve's. They weren't given to Steve. They were passed down to Steve.
Yes.
And you can see some of them. They're such pretty crocheted Christmas trees or a bird or
Our thing was you can't buy it, you have to make it.
You have to make it.
Because we were not a wealthy family. We you know,
Even if you
with-
are,
with
like it
8
doesn't
kids,
matter. It's
yeah.
overwhelming, you know.
It's overwhelming. So that was always Christmas. And you talked about holidays. As we grew, I have a sister in Colorado. My one brother passed away, and he was in South Carolina. Another brother passed away. He was in North Carolina. We have not all been together for years and years and years. So we said, all right, for Christmas, you have to make something. You don't have to if you don't feel like it this year, if you're just not comfortable. And this year I thought I should do something crazy like move. from
Right,
Texas
right.
to Florida. I mean, gee, I had nothing else to do. Why not?
and making something is, you don't have to make it for everyone. You can make it for who you want to or who
Right.
you can, and it's. I think I love handmade gifts. I really do.
I do too,
Because
yeah.
to me, it's not about the cost. And realistically, let's be real.
It costs
lot of
more
times
to
it
make
costs more to
something
make
to
something.
go out and
Yes.
buy, because you could buy something at Dollar General that's just as cute for a lot cheaper than what
Yes.
you can make.
And the time that it took you to do
Yeah.
it. But when somebody takes the time and effort to make something for me,
It means more.
I really relish that even more, because it means they thought of me long before Christmas. Because let's be real, if you're going to make Christmas gifts for people, you're
better
not making
start
them
in
in
January.
Right.
December-y.
Well, unless you're cooking. I didn't
yeah,
this
well,
year.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
If you're making food,
I didn't, but I usually cook and deliver to my neighbors. Like, just some.
We're
I do
waiting
some
for Aunt
fudge.
Lisa's
I
cookies to arrive.
Yeah.
I do some fudge and some
Yeah.
sometimes some cookies, sometimes some cheese straws. One year I did some Chex Mix. I just kind of mix it up.
I
you
make
know.
fudge every year, and I haven't made my fudge this year either.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I
I
always
did,
make
but now I do. I don't. My fudge is not. My fudge is actually. I saw somebody on TikTok. They called it Kiss Fudge the other day. They were making it and they called it and I was like, why do you call it Kiss Fudge? And then he told, keep it simple, stupid.
Yes.
Is what it was. But
Yes.
it like you can make it any time of the year and it's so simple. It is a jar of cake icing and a jar of peanut butter. I melt them in the microwave for about 30 seconds, mix them together, spread them out on some wax paper in a bowl, and get that cold, and then you can slice it into.
So it's a peanut butter fudge.
But you can do it with chocolate, and you don't taste. If
Right.
you do chocolate icing, you don't taste necessarily the peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to do chunky peanut butter with the chocolate. That way, you get some nuts
Oh,
in
yeah,
there.
nuts in
And then I do cream cheese icing with the peanut butter.
Okay.
And keep it simple, stupid. And
Yeah.
it's
Kiss
not
fudge is great.
Is it the best fudge ever? Nope. But is it good? Yep.
Yes.
So
Well, I've had some fudge out there over the years that I've bought at, like the old antique town type places, the rustic
Buc-ee's
towns.
has really good fudge.
And I quite often don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like Buc-ee's fudge.
Yeah. You don't?
I do not.
Oh, I do. Which now I like a lot of their different flavors that they do.
Some of their additional flavors, but their actual, chocolate fudge,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Sorry, Buc-ee's.
yeah.
But at the same time, I make amazing fudge.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. And it's not my fudge. It's a traditional fudge that has been passed down to me. And okay, so do you remember? I don't know what. I think it's a Christmas movie. I might be mistaken.
You have your wrong person in the room
But-
for movies.
But there's a movie out there, and it was talking about the recipe for chocolate chip cookies, and I can't share it with you because it's a special recipe. Yada yada yada. And as the movie goes along, she's going over it, and it's the recipe on the back of the Hershey's,
Of the Hershey's bag. Yeah.
and she's like, "This is your special recipe."
Yeah.
This is your family secret recipe.
Yep.
It's not. It's the Hershey's one.
Well-
Mine is the one that actually the original recipe that was on the Stay Puft marshmallows.
Okay.
It's
Gotcha.
called Fantasy Fudge, and they have changed it up over time. So I have the original recipe, and I still use the original recipe. And I've added my own flair to it, and I've added some of my own changes, which are written down. But everyone says they love my fudge, but I could be the only one that likes it as much as I do.
Yes, because we've taught to be polite.
Right. But I
no,
mean,
her fudge is good.
You know, my dish is my macaroni, but I have proof. Remember, my friend stood up during that concert and announced it to everyone.
yeah. Hey, Greta, you
Hey, Greta,
gonna make that mac
You
and
still
cheese?
make that macaroni and cheese, and everybody just died laughing. They were like, "Why is this man asking her about macaroni and cheese?" And he was like, "No, y'all just don't even know. This girl makes the best macaroni and cheese." But there's nothing to it. It's not that hard.
But you know what? There's I've seen some recipes for mac and cheese that aren't necessarily hard, but there's all this added to. I made one. It was a baked mac and cheese, and it was a recipe I saw on TikTok or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, that looks really good. I'm gonna make it." Man, it was like glue.
Mm-hmm.
It was like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But,
It was good later. Like we cut it up in pieces and put it in the freezer. It's a good quick. I need something to eat really quick. And we had to learn though when we reheated it, you put just a little tiny bit of milk in the bowl, and then set the mac and cheese on it. And as it heats, it just kind of melts into that, and then you kind of stir it. But it had the crust on the top, so you kind of try to keep the crust on the top. But it was so thick and so hard. It was good flavor wise, but it was like eating paste.
yeah.
I followed the recipe
the
the thing because it looked really good, but I'm like, and I didn't deviate to make it more pasty. I followed their recipe.
I do that a lot. I take 2 or 3 different recipes and mix them together and make my own.
Make your own.
Yeah,
Well,
and
Because then it's got the flavor and the texture you
and
like.
then I can't make it again.
Right,
But and now I have this is how my grandmother made it, and I have her exact recipe. Mine, everybody says tastes just like hers, is just like hers, but I don't. It's not exactly her recipe, but it works.
You've
this way
made
for
your
me.
change.
But I can only make it in one pan. If I make it in any other pan, I
It
mess it up.
doesn't taste the same.
My mother's like, Greta, you understand, you just half it. And I'm like, yeah, I get the concept, but it don't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
I have to make this.
I have to make it this way. Yes.
Well, we have a certain way of making certain things that, you know, I make a killer meatloaf as well. And I don't make a lot. I make very few things really well, but I'm not a kitchen person. Like, I don't love the kitchen. My husband loves the kitchen. He loves his cooking things. He loves his. I mean, you walk into our house and you see our kitchen and all the gadgets for kitchens, and you think, wow, she's a lucky lady. No, ma'am. No, sir. He is, because that's his kitchen. And if you want to do something while he's cooking, and you are like, for instance, the other night when he was cooking his stroganoff, homemade stroganoff.
It's not his stroganoff.
Well, it's technically his
mine.
mom's
It's yours.
stroganoff.
It's my
That's your
stroganoff.
dish.
But I wanted broccoli. And I said, are we making some broccoli? And he said, no. And I said, but I want broccoli. And he's like, no. And then he goes and gets his little tray that's over in the side of the kitchen, and he holds it up at me, and it says, my kitchen, my rules. And I was like,
He said, see?
but then he made me the broccoli anyway.
He did
And
anyway.
and then everyone enjoyed the broccoli, and I was like, I didn't get any broccoli. So a couple people came over and gave me some of their broccoli.
And she
so it
came
was
over
nice.
to my plate and picked a piece of
It
broccoli
got
off
the
of it.
broccoli off.
I
of it.
did. I just
mine.
snatched her broccoli off her.
And the little kids are sitting there going,
Did she just steal your food? Yes, I did. Yes,
she
I
just
did.
came over to my plate and took it.
But it was funny because, like, obviously I wasn't the only one that enjoyed having a little broccoli with the dinner. That's fine. But it is his kitchen. But the few things I do make, I have a very difficult time not making them the same way. I want the right pan. I want the right this. I'm not as good at cleaning up after myself as I'm making it.
Oh, I left Saturday going to the Mitchell Christmas with a mess in my kitchen that I came home to.
And sometimes
Because
Now, I'm a cleaner as I cook.
but
Steve is
so
too.
like my bowl that I had mixed it in, I didn't have time to clean that. You know, like I didn't have time.
Right.
to,
Some of it
to
was
rinse out.
left because you just ran out of time.
I completely ran out of time. It took my macaroni a little longer to boil than I meant, you know, kind of thing. So I did, and I was like, "Oh God, this is I don't." wanna
Now,
make
do
this
you
mess.
boil macaroni to your taste or to the macaroni time limits?
to taste?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will stop it before it's a little bit done, especially like taking it there. Like it's not quite there yet, but I knew I'm putting it in a big, huge bowl and I'm putting the top on that bowl. So it's going to cook. It's going to
And
continue.
all the hot cheese and everything that's in it, it's still going to be hot enough there that it finishes off.
so that way it wasn't
You're a
mushy.
good cook.
So
We
it wasn't
have a
mushy when
family
I got there.
friend
Uh-huh.
that believes that if you open a package of macaroni and cheese and it says boil it for 7 minutes, that's what you do. And I have a grandson who thinks that's what macaroni tastes like. And I'm like,
Yeah, macaroni's never finished.
Yeah. Or I have family
It
members
should be
that,
slightly crunchy.
I have family members
No.
that think like it's not on the Mitchell side, but others they think the box kind is macaroni and cheese, and I'm like, no. You know, like the one with the. I'm like, do you really think that packet of powder is cheese? Let's just start with that. You know, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
Don't get cheesy enough.
I will have to say though, for people who that's what they've had, that's what they consider mac and cheese. But if you introduce them to a real mac and cheese, they'll probably never want to go back.
I know.
I don't know. There's some people that are like, I don't like that.
I
now.
don't like it. This is.
I like
this.
this.
Uh-huh.
And
I mean,
this
but
is
now
what
mind you,
this
yeah.
is what I'm used
Yeah,
to.
now
so,
mind you,
yeah.
I keep those little Velveeta, the little bowl microwavable
quick
bowls, you
bowls.
know. Yeah, like, and I keep those just for if I want some macaroni and cheese. I'm not gonna make my whole big recipe because remember I can't half it, like, you know, just and those will do.
She'll be at the store, you know, the person standing at the store ringing the bell asking for donations for Salvation Army during the holidays. She's at a different time of year standing there with a bowl of mac and cheese and a bell passing it out.
I really don't have to because like I called Lori because you know I had
As
left.
soon as you make it, you can call a few
Some
people.
people-
You
Yeah.
will,
Guess
you will,
what?
you will always be able to give me some mac and cheese.
Yeah.
But
Ever have extra?
I mean, I grew up on the Kraft macaroni and cheese out in the box too. Like, you know, not a huge amount, but also had it cooked for me, real mac and cheese. So I kind of I can stomach them both.
Yeah.
But if I have a preference, I want
have a
the one with
preference,
a
yes.
cheese. And when we buy the Kraft, like the 5-pack of Kraft macaroni and cheese, my husband likes those. He really likes those. He does not like, but I'll get the Velveeta
the Velveeta with the
4 cheese, and it's got the cheese packet in it. That's you know, and I set it on the stove when my noodles are cooking to warm it up, flip it over, get that nice and warm, and then when you open it up, it kind of falls out a
falls
little
out.
bit easier. But I mean, I prefer that one to and he doesn't like that. So
Okay.
yeah, our macaroni and cheese tastes are completely different. But if we make a homemade mac and cheese, if it sounds like more like your type, he would like it. The one that I made from that TikTok, not so much.
Much.
But neither one of us did because it was way too much
right.
like
It was too much.
it was too much like paste. It was just so thick that you had to take a bite and drink at the same time
Yeah.
to get it down
I
your
will say I
throat.
like Panera's macaroni and cheese. Also.
I do. I like
I like
Panera's mac and cheese.
Like if like you know, I'm kind of craving some. Don't really necessarily want to make the whole big bowl. Don't want the little
Panera's.
microwave type. Panera's is
And
really
as a
good.
microwavable
Okay.
one, I like the Stouffer's mac and cheese,
Okay.
frozen mac and cheese.
Yeah, I don't
but-
know that I've ever bought them. I've had it with like the Salisbury steak.
Yeah,
you know, like
I don't
whatever.
mind it at all. But the only thing with that one is I like to overcook it because when you stir it up, it'll still kind of get nice and wet. But I like the edges all nice and crispy.
crunchy,
Yeah,
crispy.
yeah, I do like that.
But yeah, Panera's is pretty yummy.
And
It is.
Panera's put in a little dish, a glass dish, and microwave it just a little bit to get the edges crispy.
Okay.
Panera's is amazing.
It's amazing.
You can quickly turn it into a baked.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
But
I
yeah.
didn't realize
homemaker
this show was
tip
going to
for the
be about.
day.
I
About
didn't
macaroni and
realize
cheese.
this was going to be a macaroni and cheese show.
Hey, if I'm involved, it's a good chance.
You know this.
And that is like you asked, what's the one thing you want? You know, the holidays, macaroni and cheese. I gotta have some macaroni. If I go somewhere and there's no macaroni and cheese, I'm like, what's wrong with this family?
I'm looking for a fruit cake that doesn't have much cake in it, but basically the fruit.
Do you like fruitcake?
I love fruit
Okay.
cake.
Okay, I don't. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm not
Well,
a fan.
but it's really not much cake. It's like
Right.
It's the nuts and the
now,
candied
my grandmother
cherries
made
and-
a thing called Japanese fruitcake. I have no idea. But it was a cake. It was a layered cake that I loved. And my mother has the recipe, and my Aunt Sue has the recipe. Aunt Sue made it a couple years ago for Mitchell Christmas. Nobody ate it because they didn't know what it was, but I did. I was like, this is the Japanese fruitcake. Mother says it's too hard. Mother says it's very hard to make. But it's like a spice cake. And then
Okay.
then the icing is a little bit like German chocolate icing.
Well,
But
see, I don't like frosting.
but she puts orange juice in it, and then
wow.
and then the icing itself has like some oranges and it's got the coconut, some oranges, some pineapple like in it.
oh, that sounds
It's
good.
really good. And then like I said, the cake's kind of a spice cake. Like
That does sound
I
good.
love some Japanese fruit. I'm like, and Mother's always like, it's too hard. I'm not making it.
Well, it's funny listening to some people about their traditions too when it comes to food. So, in China, apparently and I learned this on the radio the other day. Apparently, they have a tradition in China that on Christmas Eve, everyone gets KFC.
Okay.
Because apparently KFC opened in China at whatever point in time, and everybody went and got KFC. So now it has become a Chinese tradition to have KFC
Okay.
on Christmas Eve or at Christmas time to have KFC. And I know there's a lot of people too in New York that it is kind of a tradition to have Chinese food on Christmas Eve. A lot of people.
Well, now at my dad's, we are changing it this year, but forever we have steaks. Mm-hmm. Daddy's 83 years old this year, cooking a whole bunch of steaks has gotten a little hard for him. So he asked, would it be okay if we didn't do steaks this year? And we of course said yes. Like, you know, we don't want to put him out.
right.
So this is our first year not having steaks, but we've looked forward to a Jimmy steak for many
years.
Yeah.
Well-
and I will say my daddy's steak is the only steak I will eat that is not that I will eat overcooked and still love every single bite of it.
Because its flavor is so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
him. Yeah.
well,
yeah.
My
If
husband,
I went to a restaurant and you gave me a steak that wasn't medium or
you're
less,
sending it back.
I'm like, oh, y'all overcooked my steak. You know, like I'm going to complain. But if I show up at my daddy's house and get a steak, I'm like, nope, this is delicious. Absolutely.
It don't matter
delicious.
how
Yeah.
it's cooked.
It's
Okay.
daddy's love.
It's that. Mhm.
Yeah, that's
It's the
that's
steak I grew up on. You too. You
Yeah,
know?
there are things like that we eat that are weird or different, or other people are like, "Why would you eat that?" But it's because
But now-
it's something that we were raised on,
It's more of a too, like, you know, you get an overdone steak, they're tough, and daddies are
and
not.
his are not. Yeah,
Like it will. Yeah.
It's true. It's the love that's in there that you taste.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I think that is 100% true. And there's certain things that you migrate towards because you're, especially like my dad's gone now, so there's certain things that I like to do, and it's really funny when my brother's kids are here with them, and they go, "Oh my God, you like that way too? Oh, you like that way? Did Grandpa do that?" There's a lot of the eating things that my brother and I
have my
have
dad's
that are
eating
because of my
habits.
dad. Yeah.
100%. Daddy will say something, and I'm like, yeah, I get that from you.
My dad likes black licorice, so my brother and I both like black licorice, and it's not because of my dad really that we like dried out marshmallows. It's really because of his mom. My grandmother when we were kids, we'd go to her house and she always had stale food. Like
Okay.
all her food in her cupboards were always stale.
Okay.
So the marshmallows, when marshmallows go stale, they get kind of crispy or
They get
harden up a
crunchy.
little bit. They get
Okay.
crunchy. So like forever, I can't remember when I've not done it. I get Peeps. I love Peeps at Easter. Well, now they have Peeps for every
For
holiday.
every holiday, correct.
So when I buy Peeps, I buy them, I open them and put them in the cupboard
and let them get stale.
and let them get stale and get hard. Well,
Okay.
that's a failure in Alabama because they don't ever get hard.
I was going to
Yeah.
say
The humidity here. Yes.
And it's not that we have a ton in northern Alabama. Not like in Mobile. You know, you go down
different times a year, but yeah.
Yeah, but they don't ever get hard.
Yeah.
They still stay soft. They just get grosser. Because they start absorbing the moisture.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to have to buy them, mail them to my brother.
Yes.
And tell my sister-in-law, open these, put them in the cupboard.
But you know what? By the time they got back,
By
they
the-
would probably
they
absorb the
would
moisture.
probably absorb
Well,
the
the problem-
moisture and regain
The
it.
problem would be though is my brother would be like, "Oh, cool,
And he'd
marshmallows
eat
that are
them.
open," so
Yeah.
it would never work. So
Right.
I
Send
just
them
have
to
to
Andrea.
I just have to go. Okay, and my niece, she's so cute. She goes, "Can you put them in the dehumidifier or the dehydrator?"
Dehydrator.
And I
Well,
say,
you should
well,
try
technically
it.
you probably could,
Yeah.
but they would end up being marshmallow chips.
Yeah.
Because it would melt them down first.
But stop and think what that would taste like.
It
in your
might be
mouth.
really good.
Yeah.
That would be
I
neat.
I was
might
telling-
have to just try it just to see.
Alicia's keto.
Yeah.
I was telling her the other day that like I love buying cheese curds and putting them on parchment paper and sticking them in the oven, and they melt down into the best little cheesy chips.
I love cheese chips.
Yeah.
I will take cheese and just put it in a pan and let it. I mean, there are
Try the
some
curds and
restaurants
just
that
bake
make
them,
it.
and they last for like put them in a Ziploc bag, and they last forever.
Now, are those the ones with the breading on the outside? You mean
No.
just the chunks of cheese?
Just-
Okay,
just the curds?
Wisconsin cheese curds.
okay,
They have them at Aldi.
Okay.
Around here, that's probably the only place you can find them around here.
yeah.
Aldi has some really like that was one of the reasons that I even tried it, because they had a buffalo cheese, so it was the like buffalo spicy buffalo cheese.
Oh, like a
I
like a
had-
buffalo
and I had
sauce
bought that,
type.
and I needed to do something with it. wasn't going to eat that many, so I was like, I'm just going to see what this does, and stuck them in the oven, and it made little cheese chips, and they lasted like a long time making them into that, and were delicious.
Okay, okay. So
Or if you're keto, it's a great little just a snack, and
Yeah, nice snack.
so
and they do, they
Kimberly
just
told
flatten
me
out.
with the marshmallows, freeze dry
freeze
them.
dry them. Yeah,
That would probably work quite.
yeah, because they're
quite
freeze
well.
drying everything now.
But I mean, like if I buy Lucky Charm cereal, that's how those marshmallows
Yeah.
are. And if I don't put them in an airtight container, once they're open, they start softening up
Yeah.
because they just won't keep that stiffness. But like my dad had black licorice in his cupboard for the longest time, that when you opened it and took a piece out, it went snap and it was crunchy. So I don't care if my black licorice gets old and hard, I'll still eat it.
Still eat
So
it.
it's really weird. Some of the things that you gain your taste from are from, when you're kids and you're at your grandmother's house, you're always going to look for the snack that's sweet and candy-ish. Well, she had marshmallows and she had Jell-O. So to this day, I don't make Jell-O. I'll eat the Jell-O. Like I'll just take the Jell-O and sprinkle it on something and eat the Jell-O, because
Okay.
we would take my grandmother's
Okay, the packet.
Jell-O packets and a little. She had these wooden. They're like little wooden spoon things from the little ice cream things that have the little wooden spoon. She had those, and we would lick it, get it wet, stick it in there, and
So it's kind of like Fun Dip.
it was. But it was
Okay, I'll
it
tell
was
you something.
Grandma's fun dip.
I'll tell you something to do with Jell-O. Have you ever had glitter grapes?
No.
Buy grapes,
Okay.
wet, wash them off, and then barely pat them dry. Leave them wet. Roll them in Jell-O.
Okay.
They turn into glitter grapes. They're nice and pretty and shiny.
And you put them in the fridge?
And you can, but when it dries on there, delicious. And if you like Jell-O, you're gonna love some glitter grapes.
Yeah, and I don't like Jell-O. Like
You like the powder.
Yeah,
And that's all you do is just roll
Don't
them
like
in,
the wiggle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You just roll them in the powder.
and the funny I like
sounds great.
I like some
They
Jell-O
are.
too, but
And-
like when
yeah.
I make the Jell-O, I will take the amount of water that it takes for one Jell-O packet and mix 2 Jell-O packets with that amount of water, and then I put it in the pan with the thinnest layer, and I make Jell-O chips.
Okay.
And it's still Jell-O, but it's a thicker, crispier kind of Jell-O, and you cut it up. They're really good.
Yeah.
I could be totally wrong. I think they're really
good.
good. Doesn't mean anyone else might like it, but I like them thicker than that. That really, I don't like the Jell-O that you can swish in your mouth.
I make lots of Jell-O shots in the summer. There's lots of the
Oh,
alcohol.
yes, a lot
alcohol
of things you
infused.
can-
Yes.
I always liked Jell-O when my children had upset stomach.
Okay.
Yeah, now
Mix
I
up-
do eat it like that.
Mix up the Jell-O. Don't let it get hard. Let them drink.
Drink it. It coats your throat.
Coats your throat, coats your stomach. Upset stomachs just go, and they taste good.
Yeah.
You know, kids don't like most
Right.
medicine because it doesn't taste good.
Right.
I don't want that.
And they're the same way when they're 55 years old.
I know. We had someone like that the other day.
So those
Like before he went to bed last night, I said, "Did you take that yucky cough syrup?"
So those Jell-O chips I make, the coolest part when you are having a party with those, fresh, clean needle, but you get a needle and you get liquor and you,
And you
inject it
them.
and Jell-O expands. So you can put it's like the
They're-
juice pop things
Yeah.
candy and the liquor's in the center of it and it just kind of expands inside there and you
I was going to say I have done talking about the glitter. Back to the glitter grapes. I have injected them with some alcohol with like my marinade
yeah
thing. You know, inject a little alcohol and then roll them also in the glitter, and so then you have some boozy.
yeah
glitter
Why
grapes.
didn't you come down to my Florida house and you can entertain me
Honey,
with
you
all
just-
the maze you make with
You tell
grapes?
me anytime. You don't have to talk me. You don't have to ask much for me to come south.
she's
at all.
already said when she's ready she's retiring to Florida.
I'm too far north right here. Way too far north.
Okay,
I am too. I mean, I had to go buy other clothes.
let me explain something a little bit about Greta here. You are not allowed to have snowman decorations
No.
in her house because it's too snowy.
I don't like snow.
No snow.
If the
I
only
don't-
snow I ever see the rest of my life ever is on a Christmas card, I'm okay with that. The kind that comes down and I know it's melting as soon as it hits the ground, I'm okay with that. But
I don't want to see it
I don't want to
stain.
see it stick.
Christmas Eve, when I'm walking out of church, I want to see snow falling out of the sky.
Go to
But
Amanda's house.
I want it to disappear by the time it gets down to here. Because I don't want to walk in it. I don't want to drive in it.
Yeah, same. Yes. Go to Amanda's house that you're sitting in her seat. They have a snow machine. So it's snowing in her house right now, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, it
So
just
That's,
goes away.
Yeah.
That's snow.
Yes.
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 But they moved here from Colorado, so
Yes.
they
Well,
needed their.
I
little
have a
bit of
sister
snow.
that loves Colorado.
Yeah.
And they really thought I should move there.
I will say I've been there. It is a little different. It's not as cold there.
No,
but-
the West Coast
This year it was.
Okay.
But the West Coast snow, regardless of how cold it is,
Is
the West
not-
Coast snow is so different than East Coast snow.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
And here,
the
we don't get
Midwest,
snow. We get ice.
Midwest
That's all
snow
we get.
is totally different than
Midwest snow sucks. I'm sorry.
Well, you're
It
you're
sucks.
from there, so you can say so.
I spent 47 years in the Midwest. If you want a Christmas
No, I'm good.
that is dank, dark, frigid, freezing.
That sounds
don't-
so inviting.
I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
I don't ever want Wisconsin in the fall. You're gorgeous. You're beautiful. Your fall colors are marvelous. But your fall colors just don't wipe out. And it's not the snow, it's the cold.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's
bone
the
chilling,
biting, bone chilling
I
cold.
wouldn't- I mean, I question would I survive? Like, I don't
Probably
think so.
not.
I don't think
Well,
so.
I mean,
I
like,
don't want to go back.
I'm
sorry.
not for that time of year. I'll go back and visit, but please try not to make the whatever the celebration that we're doing in the season that makes me want to cry, because I don't want to be. I'm from Tahoe. I mean, our Tahoe snow is amazing snow. It's fluffy cloud snow. I skied in tank tops. I skied with, I would quite often, you go to Tahoe ski resorts, I would be shocked if you don't find girls skiing in their bikinis, because it is that type of weather. It is sunny and snowing at the same time. And the snow is,
I would still be wrapped up like
and the snow is fluffy. Well, I mean,
It's
the people
beautiful.
that do that are, granted, most of the time have gone there all the time. They're maybe from the Bay Area,
They're used to
or
it.
they're from Tahoe itself.
Yeah.
But the snow there is like a fluffy, powdery snow. Unless the temperature gets so down that it's too cold to snow, and then it ices it up. But our snow just doesn't do that on a regular basis out there. So it is a really fun snow.
I did watch a Christmas movie recently. It was a New Orleans based one, which was pretty cool because usually they're not in the South. And it was so good, and I was loving it. It was NOLA, it was like they were outside doing things that there wasn't snow. I was like, this is a good one. I like this. At the very end, they were sitting there having like Christmas dinner, and all it had worked out, and the guy and the girl had worked out their problems.
Right.
And they look outside, and they went, oh, look, it's snowing. I was like,
No.
and I know. And I was like, and y'all just ruined this because nobody's going to be excited about snow coming down in NOLA. It don't happen. And they didn't even act like, oh my God, it's snowing. It was more like that happened every year at Christmas. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
No, that's
No.
not the place where that happens.
No, they don't get snow. If they get, you can't say they don't get snow. They've got some, but
It's very rare
it's
and far
very
between.
rare. And I was like, y'all just ruined this whole movie,
Well, the
whole thing.
I did a video one year making a snowman and having snowball fights and something, and from Tahoe, and doing snow angels and the snow fluffing around. And literally, I got so many people that sent the comments that are like, oh, nice to have a snow machine and fake snow. You can buy that snow. And I'm like, no, this is
real.
actual real snow. Like, this is not Hollywood fake snow. This is real snow. And I had people who came back, snow doesn't look like that. Snow doesn't act like that. And I'm like, have you ever been to Lake Tahoe? Like, this is what our snow is
Yeah.
like. And so I had to do a second video and pan around, and we went to a little slide park where a bunch of people, it's that one right there where coming out of Mount Rose to go into Carson, Tahoe,
Yeah,
right in that
right
intersection where that snow, I literally drove over there and got my camera out to film real people that I didn't know coming down.
the
And then
hill.
Right.
talked to them and said, pick up the snow and throw it. And they were doing it, and it just goes, and I'm like, do I know you? Do I know you? Do I know you? And they're like, no, what is
No,
going
what's-
on here?
yeah.
And I'm like, I've been told by somebody who watched my videos that we made the snow. And this is all fake. And somebody just started laughing so bad, and they're like, fake news in the background. It was so funny, but I was like, no, everything is not fake today.
Yeah.
And this is what our snow really looks like. Now, I'm sure this was probably somebody from the West Coast or Midwest or something like that have never seen snow that doesn't look like their snow or act like their snow does. And
Yeah.
you definitely could look Hollywoodish. I think that's where Hollywood figured out that snow, because most things, when Hollywood films a snow scene of any sort, including Top Gun 2, it's done in Tahoe.
Okay.
That's where they go, because it is beautiful weather. I mean, I cannot tell you how many Christmas movies I'm like, oh, yep, that was filmed there. Oh, yep, that was filmed there. Oh, yep, that was, because I
It's
know
unique because you can recognize the background.
Yeah.
you can recognize the background, you can recognize the buildings, the house. But because I know where all the big celebrity mansions are, I know where all the coves are.
Right.
The Kevin Costner Whitney Houston movie that was filmed there.
Okay.
Part of The Godfather was filmed there. Like, a lot of stuff is filmed in Lake Tahoe. A lot of stuff is filmed there because there's so many private waterfronts, beaches, and even snow mountain areas that are private.
Right.
That, and we have so many ski resorts that you can film different ski movies and have a different chalet. And 90% of the time, the lodge is just a big, expensive, fancy house in the
Right.
in Zephyr Cove that
Yep.
they film there, but then they make it look like it's part of the mountain,
Right.
you know, for the ski resort. But it has nothing. It's not even at the same location.
Right.
But I'm like, well, I know where that house is, and that's not at a ski resort. But I know it. But the houses are so big and so full of glass and all this,
Yeah.
that they are a picture perfect for that.
Uh-huh.
And they go up there all the time. Hollywood goes up there and rents these from the owners
Mm-hmm.
all the time for filming. So I love them because
Nice
I can watch
place
them and
to
go like,
visit.
oh, it's a beautiful place to visit. Too expensive to afford to live. But I love watching some of those because it's home for me,
Right,
because
you
I
recognize that
recognize
it's
the
home.
places. And I'm like, not all of them. Not, you know, I'm not going to claim that all of them are made, but a lot of them are.
Yeah.
Or at least the snow part.
Alabama has very few that are filmed here. We've had now Huck Finn was filmed here in our county,
Oh, wow. Okay.
over in Mooresville, but that's like one of the only ones. Most everything Southern is filmed over in Georgia. There's like they have better incentives or something for
Yeah.
for
Well,
movies.
Atlanta has become a big hub for movie making.
Well,
Yeah.
Mr. Tyler himself is
yeah.
kind of helped out that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what's there? There's one little town, Sonoa, or something. Wait, like it's over.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
yeah.
about, but I can't
That,
remember
like,
the name of it.
I can't think. The vampire show was there.
Yeah, Walking Dead is filmed just
yeah.
out of Atlanta.
Right around there.
Yeah. And then Albuquerque, though, New Mexico is becoming another big place for filming.
You met my friend Debbie.
Mm-hmm.
Her son lived over there for a while, and she loved going. She was a big Vampire Diaries, and she loved going and got to know that. She could tell us about that area because she knows all about it.
I
over
loved
there,
that.
so.
I loved that show. I wished it would have continued. Actually, I liked it a
was
little
never
bit
into
better
the
than.
vampire stuff.
I like it a little bit better than the Twilight series. Yeah, but
I was
I've
never into either of them.
But I've always liked that kind of stuff. I loved, my favorite one was the Interview of a Vampire,
Yeah.
way back in the day, and that was a little bit more dark.
yeah.
But then, what other traditions do you guys have that have maybe gone away? Have you ever had the traditions that you used to do, like as a kid, and then it continued, and then now you don't so much do it anymore?
Well, I mean, Dad doesn't come home with me anymore. But, like,
Yeah.
he does. Like, yeah, that's gone. Like, I drive. But I do actually. When I leave my daddy's, I will call my mother and I will say, "I'm on my way home. Has Santa came?"
Oh, okay, that's
Oh,
cute.
yeah.
I'm 53 years old, and I will have those words with her this year. Has Santa came?
Okay,
Because that's our tradition. Santa's always came.
you go to Daddy's and you
And
go
on
to
your
Mom's.
way home, Santa just miraculous.
yeah, yeah.
Well, and your mom doesn't live with you,
No.
but you go to you go straight to your mom's house.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
okay.
that's where you
Well,
have to be.
actually, the last couple of years, like the last 2 or 3 years, we've started doing Daddy's a little bit earlier because my niece got married his family does something. So, and we can do it earlier. There's no reason we couldn't.
Right, right.
So the last couple of years, I have been able to like go home and freshen up and
then go to
and get
Mom's.
my presents and then go to Mom's.
Okay.
Used to, I had to pack,
Everything ready
Christmas
to go.
Eve. Yeah, the sleigh was packed. Like
Right,
everything
right.
was in it to go to Mother's and to Daddy's, and yeah.
What
So-
about for you, Ginger?
My Christmases are so different now than they used to be. Just totally, totally different. I mean, for one thing, there isn't a Christmas decoration I put up because I said, why
You're
put them up?
moving.
Why put them up to take them down to move them?
Yeah,
Right, right.
right.
I always had the tradition that if once I was grown and had children and families started wanting to do their Christmas together on Christmas Day rather than all get together, kids want to play with their new toys. I took the tradition because I was the oldest one of the sisters, and I would then start having my parents come to my house for Christmas dinner. And then I started saying, my husband's family celebrated Christmas Eve. And then I finally said to them one year, I said, you guys just then stay home Christmas Day. I said, then why don't you guys come to our
us.
house? So that I would then have my kids, my parents, his parents, and then one of my sisters, his mother was a widow. So then I said to Paul, I said, well, why doesn't your mother come? So pretty soon my Christmas turned into
big deal.
entertaining parents.
Yeah,
Oh, that's nice, though.
yeah.
And now they're all gone.
Wow.
And I'm gone now too. So
Yeah, you're
but
gone-
I've
you're gone
moved
from
away.
there, yes.
I've gone away from there. But yeah, Christmas changed. It was all about family until we moved away. And then Christmas could be celebrated anywhere from Thanksgiving to
New Year's.
New Year's.
Right. Well, and we used to have a tradition. This was a tradition that started when I met Steve and his family. We had a tradition every Christmas, but it wasn't Christmas. It was the first week of December. And we went to Christmas in the Vineyards every year. We went down when they still lived in Carson City. The four of us, both Steve's parents and Steve and I, would drive down to her sister's, who's now in Colorado, but she was in Livermore, California, or she was in Castro Valley. But where we went was Livermore. So we would go down to Aunt Lisa's, and then several other friends of theirs would come down, which we became friends with their friends. And a slew of us would go to Christmas in the Vineyards, and we'd go to we'd have Aunt Lisa would always have an agenda and a plan of what we were going to do.
Yeah, she picked out the vineyards we were going to so that we
And
knew.
part of that process there is all the ones that participated in Christmas in the Vineyards. Your tasting fee was a toy for Toys for Tots or
Okay,
whatever,
yeah.
and you would come. If you didn't have a toy, you paid whatever the
Right.
tasting fee was. But if you brought your toy, you got
That was
your
in lieu of.
tasting. And then we went. The first year I think was 2010. The second year was 2011, and from 11 on, I hand painted glasses for the entire crew, and we always had a theme.
Yeah,
so
we
whatever.
were pirates one year.
Surfing Santa one year,
Surfing Santa.
Okay.
and we all dressed whatever the theme that the team picked. And so basically it was usually Aunt Lisa and I picking the theme, because Aunt Lisa would call me and say, okay, this is the theme I was thinking. Can you paint glasses that go to this theme?
Yeah,
gotcha.
Like when it was Surfing Santa, she's like, can you make a Surfing Santa? So literally the glasses for that one, Santa's in a pair of swimming shorts holding up a board.
love that,
And
yeah.
there's wine bottles on the beach and seashells. And the year we did Pirate Santa, she's like, "How can you do the pirate?" And I'm
Oh,
like,
we were wenches.
we were wenches, and the guys were buckos." And I made the Santa look like the Captain Morgan with his foot up on the barrel, but his peg leg was a candy cane.
Okay.
His hook was a candy cane, and the skull and crossbones on his pirate hat
Or
is
candy
Rudolph.
canes. Okay.
It's Rudolph's. It's a reindeer skull with a red dot.
Okay.
So we wore like eye patches, and we wore outfits to match our theme.
Oh, that's fun.
So it was super fun.
Yeah.
And that is the one tradition I really miss, because
Now,
she moved away, then they moved away, then we moved away. So
we went down one year. We decided like after Christmas, so last minute, let's go. It was a unusually kind of warm year kind of thing. We decided let's go to Gulf Shores for New Year's, which is the beach closest to us. We planned this trip in like 3 days. Your football fan over here could not leave until the Alabama football game was over.
okay, yeah.
I think it ended. It was probably the 2:30 game, so it ended at like 6. And they were waiting on me. I jumped in the car and we drove straight to Gulf Shores so we could have our toes in the sand on New Year's Eve.
Oh, okay.
We barely made it, but we did make
Is it warm enough for that?
That night was
It's
windy
still
and
cool,
cold.
but
then New Year's Day, there's a bar down there, a famous bar called Floribama. It's on the Alabama Florida line, and Floribama has a polar bear plunge. And everybody, the way y'all are talking about like the way you dressed up, everybody, their families dress up. So there was pirates, and there was a Trump. There was a guy that was like Trump, and and all this. Like it was so much fun seeing everybody in costume, and they go get in the water in those costumes. I got in. I think it was like 72 degrees that day, so it wasn't warm, but it wasn't cold. There wasn't a breeze going, but I did. I went and jumped in the.
I did a polar plunge with Steve, and I did a polar plunge with Kristen, and
That was probably in cold water.
it was ice cold water.
Yeah, no, I'm out.
Yeah, no, I will never do it again.
Thermal.
Yeah,
But I can say I've done it.
yeah.
But our polar plunge, and it was a fluke year in Vegas because it was ice cold in Vegas and it had snowed, which rarely ever happens in Vegas.
Right.
And I was laughing because we were spending New Year's with Kristen, and she said, "We're going to do a polar plunge." And I looked at Steve. This is, of course, we're in Reno where it's snowing, and we have 3 feet of snow in our front yard, and she's in Las Vegas. And I said, "Polar plunge where? Is she planning to fill the bathtub with ice? Like, how are we going to have a polar plunge in Las Vegas?" Well, they had record freezing temperatures, and it snowed in Vegas. And we went there, and I was like, did you order this? Because like, it makes no sense. And her pool was, I think it was 18 or 20 degrees. So
Yeah.
it was
I'm not
a polar.
anything. No, like Floribama or the Gulf is the like that's it. Like
Now, the true
anything
polar
north of-
plunges are like negative 30 degrees
no,
or
I'm good.
something. They're
I'm good.
waters that if you do a
Now, they do
traditional
one-
real one.
I don't.
Like in
do one in
Wisconsin, that would be.
Yes, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, they will go polar plunge in Lake Michigan.
And that's
And
probably negative
truly-
30 degrees.
And truly,
No.
you hope that
You survive.
there's a small spot in the ice that you can get in the water.
Oh, good.
Oh my God, no.
Good.
See, now that I couldn't. I have memories of just jumping in the pool one. I could never walk across ice or even see the ice and plan to put my body into that. Yeah.
Now I did do last year. I began the year facing some fears of mine, and did do. I did a whole month. I did 30 days of every day sitting in 40-degree water in my bathtub. It's very good for your mind.
I heard it's
Yes,
good
very
for
good
your
for your
body.
mind. It's very good for your metabolism. For me, it was facing a cold fear, and I did it every day. I sat for at least 20 minutes every day in 40-degree. I measured the temperature. It was like 41, 42.
People will take freezers
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
and fill them with water.
Yeah.
And make them
Yeah.
those kind of.
The ice.
But I
bath,
learned,
like
you,
an ice
I learned
bath.
you don't just tiptoe in, you just get in.
you have to
Yes.
just dive in. You, have to jump
You
in.
don't put a toe in and a toe in. You just
You
get in.
You can't slowly submerge.
No.
You have to just
No.
leap over and jump in.
No,
Well,
if
there
you
is no leaping for me to begin with.
Yeah.
You don't leap well, dear.
No.
Well,
you don't
be-
sleep well, dear,
Yeah.
either.
No, she
Well,
doesn't sleep well.
I will say our time is up. How
Yes.
fast time goes by. But we want to thank everybody
I
for
will be
being
out
here.
tomorrow. I think Alicia will be back.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm out though tomorrow.
You're
All my
out tomorrow.
Christmas is tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then Christmas Day I'm going to be out too.
Yeah,
So,
and but we'll somebody will be here. Somebody will be here for y'all. We want to make sure that even if you're sad and
and
lonely,
Amanda actually has a sick
crazy
child,
people,
so.
we will be here. Yeah, Amanda won't be back until all is clear because she has a very sick kid and it is contagious. So she's making sure that it is 100% clear before she comes here. But we will be back here tomorrow. Please remember to like, follow, subscribe, and join our YouTube channel and our Facebook group, Girl Talks. All of our socials is Girl Talks, GURLTAUX, because we're going to talks about it. We'll see you tomorrow.
Merry
at
Christmas from me.
10 to 11:30 Central Time, and Merry Christmas to
Merry
everyone.
Christmas.
Merry
It was
Christmas.
great meeting
You too.
After
You too.
listening to you and being able to be here.
Yeah.
This is fun.
It was
Thank
very
you.
nice having you join us today.
was. It
She'll be here tomorrow too. She
Okay.
doesn't know it, but she's going to be here
I'm
tomorrow
gonna
too.
Like I said, I think
I'm
Alicia's
going
back
to
tomorrow.
be back.
She
No
will be
Cash
back.
tomorrow.
Whether you want me to or not.
Yeah,
He really liked you. Cash really liked you. I saw you were rubbing it one time, and he was very happy.
He was very receptive to those
Yes.
pets. All right. Bye everybody.
Bye.